Hello everyone, welcome to Design and Analysis of Algorithms video series. In this session, I am going to explain 3D lab program, that is a program to implement multi-thread application that has 3 threads. First thread generates a random integer for every 1 second. Second thread generates a n square, means square of a number, and prints. Then third thread will print the value of cube of the number. Before going to know about hello everyone, welcome to Design and Analysis of Algorithms video series. In this video, I'm going to explain 3D lab program, that is a Java program to implement multi-thread application, which will create a 3 threads. The first thread generates a random number for every 1 second. Second thread computes the square of the number and prints. Third thread will print the value of cube of the number. Here first we'll see what is meant by multi-threading. Then we'll see the program. Before going to know about multi-thread concept, first we'll see what is meant by serial execution, what is meant by parallel execution. In case of serial execution, the tasks or instructions are executed in series. In case of parallel execution, the tasks or instructions executed in parallel. Here consider one example. Consider a program. That program consisting 4 instructions, 1, 2, 3, 4. In case of serial execution, the statements are executed one after another. Means the instruction 3 will execute after completion of 2. Instruction 4 will execute only after completion of instruction 3. Suppose consider here the processor will take 1 second to execute the instruction. Therefore, here we require 4 seconds to complete the execution. Operating system will inform the main thread to execute all these instructions in series. What main thread will do here is it will allocate one thread, means one child, to execute all these instructions. Here all these instructions are executed by a single thread. The parallel execution means here the tasks are grouped and these groups are executed in parallel. Suppose consider here the 1 and 2 are grouped in one category, 3 and 4 are grouped in another category. These two categories are executed in parallel. So here a CPU will take only 2 seconds to execute complete program. What operating system will do here is operating system will inform the main thread to allocate more than one threads, means subthreads, to execute the program. Your main thread will allocate more than one threads to execute the program. Suppose consider here the main thread allocated two threads to execute this program. One thread will execute the first block, the second thread will execute the second block. So therefore, these two threads complete the execution of program in 2 seconds. Here consider 0th second, 1st second, 2nd second, 3rd second, 4th second. In case of serial execution, the first instruction executes in 1st second, the second instruction executes in 2nd second, the third instruction executes in 3rd second, the fourth instruction is executes in 4th second. So totally it will take 4 seconds to complete the task. So in case of parallel execution, what will happen is here the main thread will allocate two threads to execute the instructions. Here these two threads executes in parallel. So therefore, the first instruction executes in 1st second. The second instruction executes in 2nd second by first thread. Then next third instruction is executes in 1st second, because here first and second threads are executed in parallel. Next fourth instruction executes in 2nd second. So therefore, the maximum time required to complete the execution is 2 seconds. The main advantage of using multi-threading concepts in program is to save time. To reduce a CPU time or execution time, the programmer will use multi-threading concepts in almost all programs. Now we'll move to a program. Here we need to create 3 threads. To create 3 sub-threads, we need to take help of the main thread. By using this main thread, we need to create the first thread, second thread, and third thread. First thread will generate the random number n, then it will sleep for 1 second. After that, the second thread will take the n value and it will generate n square. And in parallel, the third thread will take n and it will compute n power 3. So totally here we need to create 3 threads. Now we'll see how to write program for this particular problem statement. We'll move to program part. Yes. Here the first statement is package. Then the main class is multithread. So first here we need to create first thread by using a main thread. So to create first thread, use class followed by first thread, then extends thread. Then opening bracket, closing bracket. Here the first thread inherits all properties and methods of main thread. that is thread. To implement any thread, we need to use two functions here. One is run function, another one is start method. After creating a thread, we need to start the thread using object. This will run the thread. So after creating first thread, next we need to create a second thread using thread class. Here, create second thread, extends thread. Next, after creating second thread, we need to create a third thread, once again using main thread. Yes, here we created 3 threads. After creating 3 threads, next we need to write a code to generate random number, and we need to write a code to generate n square. Then we need to write a code to generate n cube. So here second thread task is to compute n square. So first I will complete second thread operations. So here I initialize variable int num. This represents random number, or what? Random integer. Here we need to pass a random integer to second thread to generate n square. So in order to pass integer to second thread, we need to construct default constructor by using class name. Here second thread. So here we need to pass integer random number. So int n, consider int n. Opening bracket, then closing bracket. From default constructor, we need to take n value and we need to store that in num. So for that, here use assignment statement num equal to n. Now we stored n in num. So after storing n in num, then we need to write a code to perform a task. Here task is to find n square and print n square. So to implement the task, we need to use run method public while run. Inside run method, write system dot out dot print ln. Here we need to print square of a number is, yes, first we need to specify number. Square of a number num is plus, here calculate n square means num square, that is calculated by num into num. So This represents what? The operation related to second thread. Next, in the same way, we need to write a code for printing n power 3 inside third thread class. So I will copy this, then paste here. Okay, change class name from second thread to third thread. Here, change to cube of a num is num star star num. Yes, we implemented the second thread and third thread. So next we need to implement first thread. Here the first thread task is to generate random number for every 1 second. After that, it should call second thread to generate n square, and also it should call third thread to generate n power 3. So now move to first thread. Here initialize num int num to take a number of random numbers, then create constructor first thread int n, then store n in num. So this represents number of random numbers to be generated. Next we need to write run method, public while run. So opening flower bracket, closing flower bracket. Inside run method, we need to write a code to generate random integer and code to call second thread to generate n square, and code to call third thread to generate n power 3. Here based on n value, we need to generate random numbers. So for that, consider int I equal to 1. Next, y I less than or equal to n. We need to repeat the while loop. Means in first iteration, here num. Yes, in first iteration, we are generating first random number. Second iteration, we are generating second random number. Third iteration, we are generating third random number. Like that, we need to generate n number of random numbers. So for that, here use condition I less than or equal to num. So num also pointing to n. Next, in first iteration, we need to generate first random number. So in order to generate a random number, so we need to consider random class. So here initialize object of random class random rm equal to new random, here r must be capital, semicolon. Here we can't directly use a random class in Java program. In order to use a random class to generate random number, here we need to import java.utility.random. We need to import random class. After importing random class and creating random object, then we can generate random number. Int x equal to use object rm dot next int. So range we need to specify. Random number must be less than 100. So this will generate random number. After generating random number, then print generated random number using system dot out dot println statement. Here random number is plus x. After printing random number, then we need to suspend the execution of first thread for 1 minute. Sorry, 1 second. To suspend the execution of a thread for 1 second, we need to use thread dot sleep method in terms of milliseconds. Here we need to suspend the execution of this particular thread for 1 second, means 1 into 1000. 1 second equal to 1000 millisecond. Therefore, consider 1 into 1000. We generated random number, then we suspended the execution for 1 second. Here to handle this particular statement, we need to use exception handling concept. Here to add exception to this particular statement, click on this link. Now we inserted try and catch block to handle exception related to thread.sleep. Here we can use only this statement exception e, and this is not required. We can remove. After this, we need to call a second thread to compute n square. So call second thread by creating object st equal to new second thread. Here pass random integer x. Then after creating object, then we need to start the thread. To start the thread, call start method using object. So this will compute square. In the same way, we need to call third thread to compute cube. So here third thread tt equal to new third thread, then here pass the random integer, then start the third thread. Next is to increment I value, here I plus plus. These three operations executes for n number of random numbers. After this, we need to move to a main part. In main block, we need to take n value. So system dot out dot println, here type enter number. Then next, we need to use scanner statement to take input from user. So create scanner object by using scanner class. Inside bracket, we need to type system dot in. Then next semicolon. So here, to use a scanner, we should import scanner class package, import java dot utility dot scanner. Next, use a scanner object, take n value from user. So here int n equal to so dot next int. Then after collecting n value from user, then call a first thread which will generate random number, and will call for second thread to generate n square and third thread to generate n power 3. So here create object for first thread, ft equal to new first thread, then pass n value in constructor part. Then after this, start the execution of first thread. Okay, this is the program to generate random number using one thread and compute n square using another thread and compute n power 3 using one more thread. So after this, save the program. After saving the program, then we can run. Yes, the program asking enter number. Here I will enter 3. Random number is 8. The square of 8 is 64. The random number is 34. The cube of 8 is 512. Random number is 96. The square of 34 is 1156. Cube of 34 is 39304. The square of a 96 is 9216. The cube of 96 is 884736. Here we are not getting the statements in the order. We are getting statements in random way. Because of multi-threading concept, we are getting these statements in random order. Here The thread 2 and thread 3 will complete the task first before termination of first thread. Means the child should terminate first before termination of parent. So here we used the sleep statement. Because of this, we are getting the sequence like this. First thread will execute, so it will generate the random number 8. Then it will call a second thread. Then second thread will start the execution. It will take some amount of time to start third thread. Within that time, once again, first thread will generate the another random number. So after that, we are getting what output of third thread. So immediately, once again, the first thread will execute, so generating next random number. Then the children will execute. After completion of children execution, the parent will terminate. Therefore, here we are getting the statements in random order. This is about multi-threading concept. Thank you.